everybody, thanks for coming to the Forge and this new presentation for an additional scenery collection for the Gloomhaven universe, as it were. And this is for the Jaws of the Lion, the expansion, would you say, or the sort of pre-Gloomhaven. It's generally what was brought out to get people started on the big box set. So rather than dive into this, you could start with this, and it's a more of a beginner's starting forward. So Jaws of the Lions played somewhat differently to the main one. In here we have map boards, in here we have a booklet that represents the maps. In this main set you have scenery items, bits of scenery that are represented by cardboard tokens, and over the time the Forge here has produced sets of scenery items that will replace the cardboard components of that. If you want more information on that, there's lots of stuff on the channel. Have a dive around and also over on the Etsy site. So there are packs available for that, for the different types of scenery. This is somewhat different. This is done from a booklet. The maps are in a booklet. However, printed on those maps are obstacles that represent 3D components and so on. And this collection is being able for you to actually put those items actually physically on. So whereas we would have a printed say spike arrangement in the first episode, for instance, we have a very nice barricade spikes there. Now, one thing to notice is that everything that's produced here at the Forge is compatible with other sets. So if you're going from the Jaws of a Lion and you like the system and you want to get the bigger, and you'll go into the Gloomhaven and then on to the Frosthaven and Forgotten Circles and things like that, you can be rest assured that this is all the same sizing and everything and fits in with all that. Now, for a number of you, you may have previous sets. There are a number of new elements in this, and I'll very quickly go through what those new elements are. But a lot of this is backwardly compatible as well. If you've gone from Gloomhaven and you've bought the Gloomhaven scenery items, they are in there. So, but if you're starting out, don't forget everything that you've got here you can take forward with you if you move on to this, and for many other games as well. So this collection for the Jaws of the Lion is a 130 piece collection. Okay, and it's quite a number of items in there. There is a spreadsheet. I always produce a spreadsheet which is going to be available. I'll put a link in the description, and it's also on the Etsy page as well, and the links to the Etsy pages are there. But that spreadsheet lists everything that you're getting out of the 130 items. It also comes with links to pictures of the items as well, so we don't have to go too much detail on this video as to what we have. And you can see everything that you are going to be getting. But like I said, there's a number of new elements in here. So there's a few bits and pieces that were in these sets, but every time the Forge brings a set out, it tries to bring some new items in, something different, something interesting to the setup. And of course they can be used to embellish the game as they go on. And then of course, as we currently record this, Frosthaven is looking at towards back end of the year now. I'm recording this in July, August, just beginning of August, so we're still some way off of that. But if you're looking at this in a year's time, then things will be a bit different. So 130 pieces. Some of the main key elements actually I quite like is in the game it has a scenario with things called wards, and they're like little plant things. So I went for a much more elaborate ward. I wanted, like I say, these components not only to go into the main game. Now these would also paint up beautifully for Frosthaven as well. So we've got some sort of alternative bushes that can go there. They were really quite nice. The other, so all of this is printed in PLA. However, in every collection that the Forge does as an add-on, there are a number of resins. Now, resin is a lot more expensive to produce, but it does produce a much higher quality product. However, if everything was in resin, it would be extremely expensive, and that's not the pricing point where we want to be at. So the resins particularly for this setup are let's start with these mystic stones. So there's a sort of a mystic stone there, and has some skulls at the front and everything. I think they're really quite nice, and they will suit all sorts of other games as well. So those are mystic stones we're getting in resin. In addition to that, we're getting these like the dummies, like the sword fighting dummies that are on there. So battle dummies or test dummies, or anyway, so there's some of those, because that requires the detail on there. And the other thing was rats' nests. So we have a whole, and you won't be able to see the detail too much, but there are some pictures, a whole gaggle of rats. Okay, so they couldn't be printed in PLA. You couldn't possibly print them in PLA. They had to be resin, and beautiful. Yeah, so those are the resin items of the collection. The rest are sort of new bits of items. If you've seen the other collections, we've got the wooden posts. We've gone for a much substantial wooden post there. There's quite a number of those in the game. Quite a variety of statues as well on there. We've got some traps. We've got rubble. We've got some standy doors. Now, on the maps themselves, they have the ability to put a door or double door. Okay, so you get 4 wooden ones and you get 4 metal ones. So you can just put them side by side in the game, on the game itself. Now, I haven't included them in the main pack, but on the edges of the maps there will be doors, and you can either use standees as that, or what I am going to do as an extra bolt-on is offer these sliding open doors. Now, these were a door system that was developed for the main Gloomhaven game, and it fits in with what we call the tile system and everything. And for those interested in really building up the collection, please spend some time having a look at the videos that we made and everything, and that all what I've been talking about will become more apparent. However, if you wanted these, I'm going to put these on as a separate item, because not everybody would perhaps want these particular types of doors. And they are really for the edges. You couldn't put these on the map, mainly because it goes, the door line is a line, where a standee would go. These would just not work going onto the maps that are on here, in the booklet, for instance. So we'll have those as well. The barrels, a slight different design. Got 2 types of rubble as well. We've got a sort of general rubble pile in there, and we also have some destruction tokens, because in the game you can destroy barricades. So in the first episode, for instance, you have a number of barricades, and once they're destroyed, it leaves a sort of destroy marker on there. And yeah, and some really nice bookcases and shelves, which are also repeated in the other things. Now, so there we have it. So if you want 3D components for your game of Jaws of the Lion to replace the on printed map versions, and also have a collection that starts going into the larger sets and building your world of 3D scenery, then this is a really good place to start. As I said, check out all the links. There's a lot of material on the YouTube channel. Also have a great Facebook group where a lot of people who show their painting tips and tactics for all scenery and things, so you're never alone. Plus there's a few painting tutorials on there as well. There's also, like I say, the link to the parts and pictures of everything that you get, so it's a big collection. And as I said, if you want to upgrade, there will be the option to go for these pretty tricky sliding doors, as he says, as they slide in and out. But as you remember, you've got to remember that everything that you have here is compatible with future releases of any or upgrades that you're going to do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Any questions, please put them in the comments section, or alternatively send them over, and we'll endeavour to reply to them. So happy gaming, happy painting, take care, see you next time. Thanks, bye.